Hello, Libra. Happy June 2018. Sorry, this video is a little bit later. I was in Hawaii and I brought all my cards and I thought I'd be able to get this done on the 29th or the 30th, but nope. So here we are. So we have the New Orleans Voodoo tarot deck up here. I was going to pick only one, but then it was like, okay, 5. So the cards were like, yeah, we're doing more than just one. Okay, so let's get your 11 cards out, and then we'll check into the animal spirit, okay? So Libra, air sign, let's get our cards going. All right. Yeah, so we want to move it up a little bit so you guys can see it. Getting all these out. I'm going to tell you what each card is. Unless you are trying to do like a certain layout for a purpose. But for a general reading, you can lay the cards out in any way because it's just following one card after the other anyway. So the star card is the first one, major arcana. So when I do a general reading, I like to tell people that the major arcanas in general reading is a strong suggestion, right? Because there's so many Libras. But in the personal reading, it's a definite. Okay, so they both have strong meanings. And the minor arcanas, you can change, you know, like the 10 of staves, the coins, all of that, right? You can change them with your actions, just like we create things with our actions. So the first card we have is the star card, then the lovers, then the 10 of staves, the 7 of coins, the high priestess, 7 of cups, the hangman, 4 of cups, 10 of cups, 9 of staves, and the final one, queen of staves. So we have the star card, and it's like a need to really check in for some of you to see where you're going, you know, why you're doing things. And for others, it's like, hi, strawberry 15. And for others, the star card can mean that you don't know what your purpose is, or you know what your purpose is, and you're fighting other people's opinion of, you know, what you need to do and why you need to do it, and so on. Okay. The way the video is angled, you can't see this other deck, and I didn't realize that. Okay, so you know, it's like fighting other people's perception of you, and so on. So the star card is really saying, okay, focusing on you, but then next to it is a lover. So now you have a relationship, and it's like, is this like just dating, just like not a committed relationship is usually what the lover's card represents. And you have it right next to the star card. So maybe this going out type of relationship, you already know that it's in conflict with who you are, where you want to go. You know, it could be either a draining relationship, one that takes you really off your path, off your track. Okay, so you really have to use your intuition, Libra, and I love Libras. So like you really, you know, have to use your intuition and trust yourself and know that, you know, the right person will come along, whatever the relationship is. Then you have the 10 of staves, and it's like overcompensating. So you are feeling like you're doing too much, right? It's like doing way, way, way too much. Okay, so where can you pull back, regardless if it's a relationship or whatever relationship it is, right? Everything's a relationship. It doesn't have to be sexual. It could be family, friendship, all of that, right? So where do you feel drained, like you are doing way too much? It's like, hello, I need balance here. The 7 of coins is about really being prepared. So maybe you're feeling like you're more ready and more prepared, and got the work done more than others. Maybe you feel like you're waiting around too much for something, and you're like, okay, this is way too much waiting around for me. Okay. And what do you do in that waiting around time? The high priestess is about you really gaining knowledge about a particular situation, whether it's yourself, relationship, work, Like I feel like the Seven of Coins represents work. It has to do something with work, whether it's making money work or family work or, cleaning up the housework, whatever kind of work it is, it's work, 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 right? It takes energy, it takes time, it's action. So the High Priestess is like, okay, I need to learn how to talk to this person because you can't talk to everybody the same way. I mean, you can, but it doesn't mean it's going to be understood the way you want it to be understood, right? So the High Priestess is all about that knowledge, that self-awareness, that awareness of self, the awareness of others, right? That Alpha and Omega, that tree of life, that all these different layers of knowledge, of perception, of understanding. So you really understanding your particular situation before you take action is basically the point. Know your situation before you take action. Then you have the Seven of Cups, and it's like looking at things that you want, like things that you are attracted to. Okay. So that Seven of Cups is your perception of yourself, a way others will perceive you because of the goals that you set and the things that you're doing and what you perceive to be the life, the ideal life. It doesn't mean that it's true, just because you're thinking it. It's just what you want. And really seeing, how is this going to be healthy for you? Usually when you want something, you're not worried about if it's good for you or not. It feels good, it's good, right? So it's really, how are you getting to what you want? Is it going to destroy you in the end? So really looking at why is it important? And then going after it if you really care, because there's probably a lesson to learn there. And not everything we want is good for us, but some of it is. So it's, a lot of things is for the moment, and then we move forward. So just really, seeing how you're going to go about it, and if it's really important. It's just really lusting off of things that we don't have. So like I said, it can be good. It doesn't have to be bad. So then we have the Hangman, and that's a major arcana, and that's always about looking how we look at things, our perception, right? Our perspective, right? So moving from the Fool and now hitting up on the Hangman, it's like, how do you perceive things? Like you have reached this higher point of enlightenment where you have really learned from your own life experiences, and if you're smart enough, you can also learn from other people's experiences, right? So that takes a lot of smarts to actually do that, believe it or not. Okay, it takes a lot of getting rid of ego to actually learn from other people's mistakes, so you don't have to go through it yourself. So it's really looking at the way you're looking at things, and the way you're looking at things, is it really good for you? Shooting back to the Seven of Cups. So looking at the Four of Cups is all about making the right decision. So you can have 50 ideas and they're all great, right? Because you think they're great, or whoever thinks they're great, right? Who cares? But the one that will work right now is the one that you need to focus on. And the excitement, the passion of the moment can probably make some people fluster, but the main point of this card is to do what will work right now. Okay. And then everything else can open up from that, because you'll have the opportunity, the money, whatever. You'll have the means to make the other three things possible out of the four. So then we move on to the 10 of Cups. And the 10 of Cups is really moving up from the 2 of Cups. It's like a family. Like you can take this as a family gathering, a traveling, going to an event where there's a lot of people. So there's a celebration, right? The core of the card is family outside playing by a barn, right? Great. But you can interpret it as an anniversary, a celebration, a company get together, any kind of get together with a large group of people for a big function. Okay. And whenever I see the cups, I always tell people, make sure that your emotions are in check. And it usually means the idea of that 4 of Cups is next to the 4 of Cups. It's going to be a good one. So just pick the one that will work right now, that like it will work, and you're not going to ignore the facts. So really stick with the facts. The 9 of Staves is about really not giving up on yourself. Okay. The picture shows the shield and the helmet on the ground, but the warrior or knight still has his staff in his hands. So it's really not giving up on yourself, because even if something is going successful for you, there's always someone or something that is trying to be that negative thorn in your side, or it could just be more more work to do, more than you anticipated. But if it's something that is important to you, then you will stay focused and so on. The Queen of Staves is really about finding your core strength and keeping at it, keeping at what it is that you want to do, right? And what your goal is. And it's about not really having everything perfect, but still going after what you want, making something out of nothing. I like to think of it as making something out of nothing and having the most faith in yourself and keeping things moving. Okay. So let's look at, I'm starting with the cards from this side and going all the way over. So we have La Mort, which represents transformation and death, honoring ancestors, seeing life in death and death in life. So really just seeing the bigger picture of everything and honoring ancestors, like burning ancestor money if you're that type of spiritual person, or saying a prayer for someone that maybe recently passed away, or someone that's on your mind. Okay, so if you have the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck, then that's on page 66. The next card is La Sarine, which is a mermaid in water, that water energy. The mermaid is ocean, the world, the womb of the world, it's bridging sound, excuse me, it's bridging the spoken word and music. So really seeing how music can be healing for you. It also mentions in the write-up the color blue. Okay, so again, this is on page 154. So if you have the book or you're interested in it, you can definitely look it up. Very powerful. It represents the power of empathy, emotional connection, and marriage. Okay, now on page 186 is Ochosi, is the hunter, right? Representing forest, the earth energy, getting things done. What do you need to get done? Okay, taking good use of what you have, not wasting things. You're thinking of a hunter, right? And we have refrigerators, we have ways to preserve things, but really, are we wasting our money in getting things? What is a waste? What is overdoing it? Like that 10 of staves, overdoing things. So really not wasting your food, not wasting your money, your time. Time equals the moment, being in the moment and not wasting your time. Okay. Then we have Oshun, the goddess of love, page 158. Okay. And this is the river energy, the goddess of love. And what came up with this goddess of love from the last full moon we had at the end of May was Venus in Cancer. Venus is in Cancer. So I think of Cancer and Capricorn. So if you have Cancer and Capricorn, Libra, somewhere prominent in your chart, you think of that water and earth energy. You think of the necessity of one and the other. Venus represents love and money. And the cool thing that I never really hear about Venus is Venus also has a Mars-like energy. So how can you fight for your love, your self-love, and money? And how does that money just help secure your life? It's not in a negative way. It's in a survival way, okay? Because we have that Ochosi, that hunter energy in there, that survival right next to Oshun, okay? So it's all about survival, okay? And knowing that there's love in the softness of Venus and Cancer, right? Cancer is all about that compassion, that water energy. It makes you think of the Queen of Cups in the tarot cards, right? But then you have Capricorn that's in the business world. So that's across from each other in the zodiac chart. Cancer is Capricorn's opposite, vice versa, right? The balance of that. Okay. So then now, page 178, if you have the book, to look up all the full definition of the Yamaya card, right? The mother, the goddess of the ocean, the seas, right? That mermaid goddess, power of beauty, ocean, water. And what I channeled when I pulled this card, what came to me was respect the mother equals love, right? So that balance, that awareness, that knowledge that it takes to be a mother, that balance it takes. And the card also talks about, the pregnant Oshun equals giving birth, right? So what can you give birth to that's new in your life? Okay, so let's wake these cards up and let's see what the Power Animal Oracle deck has to say. Okay, this one fell. Okay, Porcupine. Okay, innocence. Free yourself of guilt and shame. I like that. Free yourself of guilt and shame. And the only one that I could think about that it relates to on the card deck is Seven of Cups and also the Star card, the Lovers, and the Ten of Staves. So watching this video again, you'll see what I say about these three cards, right? Feeling overworked, knowing what when a relationship is toxic. The Seven of Cups. So feel like the porcupine represents that. It's like, and look at the animal and see what the animal means and then what it relates to you. So that's like a little homework. It's like, you connecting to the reading as a general reading. It's so important to see what you connect with in the general reading. And I'm looking up what words the porcupine represents: protection, right? Sensitivity and trust. I like that because the trust I feel goes with the first three cards, tarot cards, right? Protection, really protecting your energy, and trust, like trusting in that relationship. We said sensitivity, okay, and it covers pretty much everything. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.